The autumn breeze carries the scent of coffee and innovation through the streets of Palo Alto. I adjust my iPhone 14 Pro Max, ensuring the lighting is perfect for my morning Instagram story. My hands tremble slightly as I capture the steam rising from my Blue Bottle coffee cup, the way it dances against the crisp California sun. 300,000 likes on my last post about Silicon Valley work culture. But none of them know what's really happening behind my carefully curated feed. The coffee shop buzzes with the familiar sound of startup pitches and keyboard clicks. I check my reflection in the window, perfect makeup, designer outfit, the image of a successful tech influencer. My wedding ring catches the light, sending a sharp pang through my chest. Mark would be in his office by now, probably buried in lines of code and security protocols. My brilliant, quiet husband. Sometimes I wonder if he notices how far we've drifted apart. The bell above the door chimes, and my heart skips a beat. Jason. He walks in with that confident stride that turns heads, his Tesla key fob dangling casually from his fingers. "Fancy meeting you here," he says, sliding into the chair across from me. My pulse quickens as his cologne, something expensive and intoxicating, fills the space between us. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't feel this way. But I do. The morning light streams through the windows, casting shadows across Jason's perfectly chiseled features. He's everything Mark isn't: loud, charismatic, demanding attention just by existing. "Your latest post about AI ethics was brilliant," he says, leaning forward. "Though I suspect you already knew that." I feel my cheeks flush, and I hate myself for it. "Just doing my job," I reply, trying to keep my voice steady. The tech community needs these conversations. Jason's fingers brush against mine as he reaches for my coffee cup. Electricity shoots through my arm. "We should discuss it further," he says, his voice dropping lower. "Perhaps over dinner?" The words hang in the air between us, heavy with possibility and danger. I should say no. I need to say no. "I can't," I whisper, but even I can hear the lack of conviction in my voice. He smiles, that confident smile that graces magazine covers and startup conferences. "Sarah," he says my name like a caress. "When are you going to admit that you're not happy?" The truth hits me like a physical blow. Because he's right. The perfectly curated life I share with my followers, the successful tech power couple, the multi-million-dollar house, the enviable lifestyle, it's all starting to feel like a prison. My phone buzzes. "Mark, coming home early tonight? Thought we could try that new Thai place." My stomach twists with guilt. Jason watches me read the message, his eyes knowing. "Let me guess," he says. "Another quiet dinner with minimal conversation?" I slip my phone back into my Chanel bag, avoiding his gaze. "Mark is a good man," I say, but the words sound hollow even to me. "Good isn't enough." Jason leans back, running a hand through his perfectly styled hair. "You need passion, Sarah. Fire. Someone who understands your ambition." The coffee shop suddenly feels too small, too confined. Outside, a group of Stanford students walks past, their laughter floating through the window. I remember when I used to laugh like that. When did everything become so complicated? "I have a meeting," I stand abruptly, gathering my things. Jason catches my wrist, his touch burning through my skin. "Think about what I said," his voice is soft but intense. "You deserve more. I pull away, but his words follow me out onto University Avenue. The Silicon Valley sun feels too bright, too exposing. My Instagram followers are already commenting on my morning coffee post. Hashtag couple goals, they write. Hashtag Silicon Valley life.
Hashtag blessed.
If they only knew. I walk past the Tesla dealership, past the venture capital firms with their glass facades reflecting the clear blue sky. My phone keeps buzzing with notifications. But all I can think about is Jason's words. You deserve more. The drive home to our Professorville house is a blur. Our house, a stunning Victorian with modern updates, stands as a testament to Mark's success. And my carefully constructed cage. I sit in the car, watching the shadows lengthen across our manicured lawn. Mark's Tesla Model S isn't in the driveway yet. I have time to compose myself. To put my mask back on. But as I walk through our front door, something breaks inside me. The silence of our home is deafening. Every surface is perfect, staged like one of my Instagram photos. I climb the stairs to our master bedroom, each step feeling heavier than the last. Our wedding photo hangs in the hallway, Mark and I beaming at each other on Stanford campus. When did his gentle silence become suffocating? When did I start craving chaos instead of calm? My phone buzzes again. Jason, dinner tomorrow? Just to talk. My fingers hover over the screen. One word could change everything. One word could destroy everything. I think about Mark, about his quiet dedication, his unwavering support. I think about Jason, about the fire in his eyes, the promise of passion. The sun sets over Silicon Valley, painting the sky in shades of pink and gold. From our bedroom window, I can see the Stanford dish in the distance. Another notification pops up, my morning coffee post has hit 500,000 likes. My perfectly curated life, admired by strangers. But here, in the growing darkness of our bedroom, I've never felt more lost. I hear the garage door opening downstairs. Mark is home. I quickly wipe my eyes, check my reflection. The mask slides back into place. But as I head downstairs to greet my husband, my phone feels heavy in my pocket. Jason's message waits for an answer. And I'm terrified of what I might say. Mark stands in TH. kitchen, his laptop bag still slung over his shoulder. Hey, he says softly, that gentle smile that once made me feel safe now making me feel trapped. Hey, I reply, the word catching in my throat. He moves to kiss my cheek, and I force myself not to flinch. His lips are soft, familiar. They should be enough. Why aren't they enough? Thai food, he asks, already pulling out his phone to order. I watch him, this brilliant man who's given me everything. Everything except what I'm starting to realize I need. Sure, I say, the word tasting like ashes in my mouth. The evening unfolds like countless others before it. Quiet conversation about work. The gentle clink of silverware. Mark telling me about a new security protocol his team is developing. Me sharing sanitized versions of my day, carefully omitting coffee shops and chance meetings. Later, as Mark sleeps beside me, I stare at my phone in the darkness. Jason's message still waits for an answer. My finger hovers over the keyboard. One word. That's all it would take. Yes. The message sends before I can stop it. And in the quiet darkness of my perfect Silicon Valley life, something shifts. Something breaks. Something begins. The next morning dawns bright and clear, but I barely notice the weather. My hands shake as I apply my makeup, perfecting the image I present to the world. Mark leaves early for a board meeting, kissing my forehead absently. I watch him drive away, wondering if he can sense the change in me. If he knows that his perfect wife is starting to crack. My phone buzzes with the details of my meeting with Jason. Alexander's Steakhouse, private booth, 7 p.m. I spend the day in a haze, posting perfectly staged photos on Instagram. My followers continue to shower me with admiration. Hashtag relationship goals. Hashtag tech power couple. Hashtag living the dream. Each hashtag feels like a knife twisting in my gut. By evening, I'm sitting in my car outside Alexander's, gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turn white. I shouldn't be here. I should drive home. I should tell Mark everything. Instead, I check my lipstick in the rearview mirror and step out into the cool evening air. Jason is already waiting, looking like he stepped off a magazine cover in his tailored suit. His smile when he sees me makes my knees weak. "You came," he says, taking my hand. And just like that, I step over a line I can never uncross. The restaurant's dim lighting feels like an accomplice to my betrayal. Jason orders an expensive bottle of wine, his confidence wrapping around me like a silk scarf. "You look beautiful," he says, his eyes holding mine across the table. I should feel guilty. Instead, I feel alive. The wine tastes like freedom and danger mixed together. "Tell me about your dreams," Jason leans forward, genuinely interested. "Not the ones you share on social media." His words crack something open inside me. My voice trembles. I don't even care now anymore. The admission hangs between us, raw and honest. When was the last time Mark asked you that? The question hits like a physical blow. I can't remember. The realization makes my eyes burn. "He loves me," I say weakly. "That's not what I asked." Jason's hand finds mine across the table. His touch sends electricity through my veins. "You're dying inside that perfect house," he says softly. I can see it in your eyes. The truth of his words makes it hard to breathe. Outside, the Silicon Valley night pulses with energy and possibility. Inside, I'm falling. Falling fast. The weeks that follow become a dangerous dance. Coffee meetings that last too long. Business dinners that have nothing to do with business. Stolen moments in hidden corners of Palo Alto. My Instagram feed remains perfect. Pictures of Mark and me at charity galas. Posts about our date nights at home. But the real story plays out in secret text messages. In lingering touches. In the way my heart races every time I see Jason's name on my phone. Until Thanksgiving changes everything. The holiday dawns crisp and clear. Mark and I are hosting dinner for the first time in our perfect house. I spend the morning arranging flowers and checking place settings. My hands shake slightly as I polish the silver. Mark works in his home office, emerging occasionally to ask if I need help. I tell him I'm fine. I'm anything but fine. The doorbell rings at exactly 4 p.m. I freeze, recognizing the sound of a Tesla parking outside. It's not Mark's. I'll get it, Mark calls from his office. Panic claws at my throat. I hear the front door open. Hear Mark's confused, "Can I help you?" And then Jason's voice, smooth as honey, "Happy Thanksgiving. I hope I'm not too early." The world stops spinning. I rush to the foyer, my heart pounding so hard I can barely breathe. Mark stands in the doorway, his expression unreadable. Jason lounges against the doorframe, a bottle of expensive wine in his hands. "Sarah invited me," he says casually. "Didn't she tell you?" The lie hits me like a physical blow. I never invited him. Mark turns to look at me, and for the first time, I see something crack in his calm facade. "No," he says quietly. "She didn't." The tension in the air becomes thick enough to cut. Jason steps inside without waiting for an invitation. "Beautiful home," he says, his eyes meeting mine across the foyer. I can't breathe. Can't think. Can't move. Mark's gaze moves between us, and I see the moment understanding dawns. His hands clench at his sides. The silence stretches, painful and heavy. "Sarah," Mark's voice is eerily calm. "A word?" But before I can respond, Jason speaks again. "Actually, I think we all need to talk." He moves further into our home, his presence filling the space, making it smaller, suffocating. Mark's expression hardens. "Get out of my house." The words are quiet but filled with steel. Jason smirks, setting the wine bottle on our entryway table. "Make me." Everything explodes at once. Mark moves faster than I've ever seen him move. His fist connects with Jason's jaw with a sickening crack. Jason stumbles back, surprise flickering across his face. Then he laughs, wiping blood from his lip. "Is that all you've got?" I watch in horror as my carefully constructed world shatters. As my husband and my lover square off in my perfect foyer. As everything I've tried to hide comes crashing into the light. "Stop!" I scream, but neither man seems to hear me. They move outside, onto our perfectly manicured lawn. The neighborhood watches from behind curtained windows. My social media empire crumbling with each punch thrown. Mark fights with a controlled fury I never knew he possessed. Jason's cockiness fades as he realizes he's outmatched. Blood stains our driveway. Sirens wail in the distance. And I stand frozen, watching my two worlds collide. The police arrive within minutes. Questions are asked. Statements are taken. Jason leaves in the back of a patrol car, his perfect face bruised and swollen. Mark stands in our driveway, knuckles bloody, tie askew. He won't look at me. The neighbors pretend not to watch. But I know by morning, all of Silicon Valley will be talking. My phone already buzzes with notifications. Videos of the fight spreading across social media. My carefully curated image shattering with each share. Each retweet. Each comment. Mark walks past me into the house without a word. I follow, my heels clicking on the hardwood floors. The sound echoes in the silence. Our perfect Thanksgiving dinner sits untouched in the kitchen. The turkey growing cold. The pie never served. "Mark," I whisper, reaching for him. He flinches away from my touch. Don't. One word. It cuts deeper than any knife. I can explain, I say, but the words sound hollow even to me. He turns to face me, and I barely recognize him. His eyes are cold. Distant. Dead. How long? I can't lie anymore. 2 months. He nods, as if confirming something he already knew. Get out. What? Get out. Each word falls like a hammer blow. This is my house too, I protest weakly. His laugh is bitter, empty. Is it? Or is it just another prop in your perfect Instagram life? The truth of his words stings. Mark, please. I said get out. His shout echoes through our perfect house, making it feel suddenly strange. Foreign. I grab my purse with trembling hands. My phone continues to buzz. Notifications. Messages. The world watching my life implode in real time. I walk to the door on unsteady legs. Turn back one last time. Mark stands in our foyer, blood on his shirt. A stranger wearing my husband's face. I step outside into the cold November air. Close the door behind me. And feel my perfect world crumble to dust. The Rosewood Hotel feels sterile and impersonal. My credit card barely clears for the room. Mark must have already frozen our joint accounts. I sit on the edge of the pristine bed, staring at my phone. Hashtag Silicon Valley scandal is trending. My follower count drops by the thousands. Each notification feels like another nail in my coffin. Brands start sending cancellation emails. My perfectly curated influence empire crumbling in real time. Jason hasn't called. Hasn't texted. Funny how quickly passion turns to silence. I scroll through the comments on my last post. Cheater. Fake. You deserve this. Each word burns like acid. The irony isn't lost on me. I built my career sharing my life with strangers. Now they're watching it fall apart. Morning comes with a pounding headache and smeared mascara. The hotel room's window offers a view of Stanford's campus. Students hurry to morning classes, their lives untouched by my drama. My phone shows missed calls from my agent. Damage control meeting. ASAP. I ignore them. Instead, I open my camera roll. Scroll through pictures of Mark and me. Our wedding at Memorial Church. Hiking in Yosemite. Christmas in our first apartment. When did I stop seeing him? Really seeing him? A text from Jason finally arrives. This is bad for business. We should cool things off. I laugh until I cry. Of course. I threw away my marriage for a man who sees me as a liability. The next few days blur together. I move from the Rosewood to a cheaper hotel in Mountain View. My social media accounts hemorrhage followers. Tech blogs run stories about the fall of Silicon Valley's power couple. Mark's company releases a statement distancing themselves from me. Jason's venture capital firm does the same. I become toxic in the industry I once ruled. A week after Thanksgiving, I gather my courage and drive home. Our house, Mark's house now, looks the same. But everything feels different. I park across the street, hands shaking on the steering wheel. Mark's car isn't in the driveway. Using my key feels like trespassing. The house smells different. Emptier somehow. I climb the stairs to our bedroom. Stop dead in the doorway. My clothes are gone. My vanity cleared. Everything packed into neat boxes lining the walls. A note sits on the bed. Mark's precise handwriting. Take what's yours. Leave your key. Simple. Direct. Final. I sink to the floor, surrounded by the boxes of my former life. Designer clothes. Expensive makeup. Props in a play I can no longer perform. My wedding ring catches the light. I twist it off. Place it on the nightstand. It looks small and insignificant now. Just like the reasons I threw everything away. The sound of a car door makes me freeze. Mark's footsteps on the porch. I should leave. Should run. Instead, I stay frozen as he appears in the doorway. He looks different. Harder. Older. I didn't expect you here, he says flatly. I got your note. Silence stretches between us like a chasm. Why? He finally asks. The question I've been dreading. The one I can't answer. I don't know, I whisper. His laugh is bitter. 10 years of marriage and that's all you have to say? Tears blur my vision. I felt invisible, the words tumble out. Like I was disappearing into your shadow. So you decided to destroy everything? I was unhappy. Then you should have talked to me, his shout makes me flinch. Not jumped into bed with the first flashy VC who noticed you. The truth hurts more than any insult. I'm sorry, I whisper. Sorry you did it, or sorry you got caught? I have no answer. He moves to the window, staring out at the street. The movers will be here tomorrow, he says quietly. Take what you want today. Mark. Don't. He turns, and his eyes are empty. Just don't. I stand on shaky legs. Move to the boxes. Start sorting through the remains of my life. Each item feels meaningless now. Hollow. Like me. Mark watches silently as I pack my car. Watches as I place my key on the kitchen counter. Watches as I walk to the door. I did love you, I say softly. He doesn't respond. The door closes behind me with a final click. I drive away from our perfect house. Away from our perfect life. Away from the woman I thought I was. The California sun sets over Silicon Valley, painting the sky in shades of regret. My phone lies silent on the passenger seat. No more notifications. No more followers. No more perfect posts. Just silence. And the long road ahead. 6 months pass like a blur. I rent a small apartment in San Jose. Far from our old life. Far from the whispers and stares. My Instagram following drops below 10,000. The blue verification check mark disappears. Brands stop calling. Stop emailing. Stop caring. I get a job at a small marketing firm. No glamour. No influence. Just honest work that pays the bills. Jason's venture capital firm announces his engagement to a young startup founder. The news shouldn't hurt. But it does. I delete his number from my phone. Block him on all social media. Try to forget I ever knew his smile. Mark's company goes public. His face appears on CNBC, Forbes, TechCrunch. He looks different in the interviews. Stronger. More confident. The quiet man I left behind transformed by my betrayal. Spring arrives in Silicon Valley. The hills turn green. Stanford students flood University Avenue. I avoid our old coffee shops. Our old restaurants. Our old life. But one morning, fate has other plans. I'm grabbing coffee at a small shop in Campbell. Away from Palo Alto. Away from memories. When I hear his voice. Small Americano, please. My heart stops. Mark stands at the counter. He hasn't seen me yet. I could slip away. Should slip away. Instead, I stay frozen. He turns. Our eyes meet. Time stops. Sarah. One word. So much history. Hi, Mark. The barista calls his order. He doesn't move. How are you? I ask softly. A ghost of a smile touches his lips. Better. The word carries weight. Truth. Good, I whisper. You deserve that. Silence stretches between us. Not as painful as before, but heavy with unspoken words. Would you? He hesitates. Would you like to sit? My hands shake as I nod. We choose a table by the window. Spring sunlight streaming in. You look different, he says. No more filters, I try to smile. He understands. Of course he does. He always did. I saw about Jason's engagement, he says carefully. I stare into my coffee. Karma, right? I wasn't going to say that. More silence. But somehow easier now. I'm sorry, I say finally. Not because I got caught. Because I hurt you. He nods slowly. I know. How? Because you're here, he says simply. In Campbell. Working a regular job. No more perfect posts. Tears sting my eyes. I lost everything. No, he corrects gently. You found yourself. The truth of his words hits me hard. When did you get so wise? I ask. When I stopped trying to be perfect. We talk for an hour. About work. About life. About healing. He tells me about therapy. I tell him about my small apartment. My new job. My real life. When we stand to leave, something has shifted. Not forgiveness exactly. But understanding. Take care, Sarah, he says. You too, Mark. I watch him walk away. My heart lighter somehow. Spring breeze carries cherry blossoms down the street. My phone stays in my pocket. No need to document this moment. No need to share it. Some things are better kept private. Real. True. I walk back to my car. The Silicon Valley sun warm on my face. For the first time in months, I feel peace. Not the carefully curated kind, but something authentic. Something earned. Something real. My new life isn't perfect. Isn't Instagram worthy. But it's mine. And finally, that's enough. End.